just being all just unnecessarily self-conscious. I'm by myself, no one can hear me.
One topic I wanted to talk to you about is your like singing and recording your own vocals. Like, how did that process come about to feel confident enough to start recording, like not just like rapping at first or whatever you want to call it, rapping or more singing later on. When did that kind of start? When did the idea appear? When did you feel confident enough to do it?
That was I keep calling it like my like quarantine project, 'cause that's kind of when it started at like the beginning of 2020. Like so many people like taking up art or like woodworking, and here I am trying to like talk into a micro, like sing into a microphone. Like I have some experience like singing like throughout my, I guess, life of like singing like choirs and stuff through school or when I was younger in like church or things like that. So, or just like singing in the car or something, like you're going somewhere, like, yeah. So it's like and I'm like, I don't know, like I've had lessons as like a musician, and most lessons and like things like you learn, you can like, if it coach yourself, it's just almost like any instrument more or less. It's like, oh, you tried this, that sound how you want it to sound, well try this differently, or learn to. And so like me playing the viola is like, relax your arm, like move your arm this way, like, so as you try to transfer it to like breathe more calmly, relax your shoulders, project, which is me being loud. That's not two things that go together. Like, I'm glad I have a mic and I can turn it up, because I'm just like always just kind of like this.
Yeah.
Talking. It's like, are you tired? It's like, no, I'm just kind of relaxed.
Yeah.
I'm just really, yeah. And they're like, oh, you're a teacher. It's like, how does that work? It was like, every now and then I can just be loud, but then I have to go back like, sorry guys, I don't know what happened there, or something like that. But yeah, it was just kind of like my project of, here's this instrument I have, I guess. I mean, the voice is an instrument, more or less.
Yeah.
And I can just learn to use it more and more. And what's funny is like my confidence, I guess, being in front of a microphone grew from like doing this, like podcasting or YouTube videos, and just constantly hearing my voice and just getting used to that, because that's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
It's just like over and over, you might be editing something or editing a video. It's like, is that really how I sound? It's like my whole life I've been talking to people and no one's just pushed me away because I sound like this.
Nobody's ever told me.
Yeah. It's just like, man, this is what people hear every day. I should be more quiet. No, I was kidding. But just like getting used to hearing myself to a point where like, all right, no one's around. No one can hear me. If I fail at this singing thing, if it doesn't work out, no one will ever know.
Yeah, that's true.
So I just like kept going. I kept trying it. And me being me, I'm just going to go all out and just try to do it and the first time I tried ended up being one of the first tracks I had on Gold Fat, which was Snap Out of It. That was the first time I ever tried.
Yeah.
Just like that. And like the process of like a few hours of me just trying to say these things, and it's like, why do you sound like that? Do it again. And then why do you look at you? Just being all just unnecessarily self-conscious. And I'm by myself, no one can hear me.
Yeah.
But as I'm like recording, like, what was that sound outside? Who's listening? It's like, no one's there.
It sounds super similar to like because obviously like chatting and recording, it's just like a regular chat, but like the first times I record like off air like intros, like just like you do when you do like solo YouTube videos. Like the first time I was just talking to do the intro of the episode, I was like, you'd say one sentence, then you're like, what am I saying? Like, I'm so stupid. Like, make sure nobody's listening. Exactly.
Yeah. Man, it's just like, it's one thing to be, I guess, self-conscious, but it's another to just like wallow in that self-consciousness of the time it takes to edit you doing something and just listen to yourself over and over and like, mouth sounds and why did I pronounce it that way? And then there's the video part of like, why are you looking over there? The camera's over here. Why are you doing this?
Why are you stretching?
Yeah, exactly. You notice every single take you don't normally see and
Yeah.
things like that. But I think it helps just if you can like come to terms with it, just how weirdly aware of yourself you become through that whole process. It helps you, I think, get better at it. Just
Mm.
because like you know every little thing, and it's like so I know like immediately I could be doing something else, but as soon as like I'm in front of a camera or I like have a microphone in front of me, whether I'm just talking or singing or anything, I'm just like immediately I'm in this headspace. This is what I'm
Yeah.
doing. Let me sit up. Let me talk with a bit more air. Let me breathe differently. That kind of thing. Like you just prep for it, and it becomes this process of I feel like I know what I'm doing right now. I'm okay with this. There's
Mm.
still like that like guy on your shoulder like what are you saying, you're an idiot. Why are you doing this? But it gets a
Yeah.
little bit quieter the more confident you get, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the longer you do it, it's like imposter
Mm.
syndrome. You have it with everything you try. Like
Yeah.
the first time you probably like that first track with your own vocals on it, you're like, everybody's gonna realize I'm a
Yeah.
fraud and I shouldn't have done this. And then once it's like the 15th track you're singing
Mm.
on, it's just gonna feel normal. And it's probably the same
Yeah.
with like Hospital. Like your first release is like, I shouldn't be here, and then your 10th release is gonna be, yeah, it's like normal. I'm just on Hospital.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm like with tracks and stuff and like producing, like I'm okay with that. Like you can people can say just about anything. I'm just like I'm confident. Like if there's one thing I can do well, more or less, it's just write a track. But then the vocal stuff is kind of new, so I'm still like I don't think I should look at the comments today because someone's gonna say something, and I like looking at comments just because I mean feedback is feedback, and but you do have to realize that some people are just dumb, or
Yeah.
some people just want to be mean, and some people like you know what he's trying at least, like I can get behind that. Yeah, I
Mm.
am just trying, and it's like I set myself up for these anyway. Like the first one I did, I just did the whole thing, and it's like all right, I'm just gonna send this to Johnny, see what he thinks. I'm not gonna tell him I did the vocals or anything. I'm just gonna
Oh,
be like
he didn't know?
no, no, they didn't. They had no idea. I just sent it. I was like, "What do you think? Here are the two tracks. Do you want them, or not want them?" Because he did. I was just like kind of finishing up for the project, and I had the idea back then. I was like, "This could be useful with a vocal on it." So I just went and did it in like a day and did everything and just that whole process. But I didn't tell them.
Mm.
And then they're like, "Yeah, this is good," and then released it and all. And I think it wasn't until like it was almost time for release. They're like, "Who did the vocals?" I was like, "Oh, that was me." They're like, "Oh, really?" And then it was like that whole thing. But like, I didn't say anything, and I
Did
didn't
it?
say anything when it was released either.
They didn't
So
need
people,
like an artist to credit on like Spotify or something like in advance, or they just thought it was sampled, or
they just thought it was a sample.
okay.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
most people thought it was a sample afterwards, and I was like, "Nope, that's me."
Well, it sounds like you like probably now it's obvious because I've heard like several tracks where you're
Yeah,
on it,
yeah, yeah.
but it definitely sounds like you like it.
Yeah,
But
now it makes sense, but then it was just like, oh, that was a sample. That's cool.
yeah, probably out of the
What's that?
blue, it's like yeah, like you don't expect yourself to be
Mm,
singing or rapping on it, so it's like yeah,
yeah,
you don't think of
and
it.
like everyone since then has definitely just been like, all right, I'm just gonna give it a shot, and if it works, cool, and if it doesn't, I guess I'll try and find a vocalist. I'll just stash this instrumental for later and stick
Yeah.
a splice sample on it. Call it a day. I don't know.
But
Yeah.
it must be really cool because it's as you said, like the voice is an instrument, so it's
Mm,
like you can play viola. I guess you can get around a keyboard. I see
yeah,
some like guitars behind you, and it's like you have these different tools to make music, and now you have
yeah,
your voice and like
mm,
this additional tool that you can bring into tracks. If it works,
yeah.
maybe it doesn't always work, but it's like this additional thing you can integrate, which must feel
Definitely.
great.
That's exactly how I like rationalize it. It's just like it's another instrument. Like I'm never gonna be like Winslow, the vocalist, that's like belting out these huge tunes that people are singing along. But like, you know, it's gonna be me, if anything. It's just gonna be like an authentic kind of performance, and I just want to get better as best as I can, or try to like get away. I guess what am I saying? I'm just trying to like get across like, is the emotion there? Is the what I'm trying to convey there in the vocal? Is it technically a sound like in key, rhythm, all that? Is my performance authentic to what I want?
Mm.
Then yeah, then it's good. Like I can't sit here and compare myself to like, I don't know, any more like bigger sound. Like I'm not gonna be Charlotte Haining,
Yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah.
I'm not gonna, but I'm also not gonna be like DRS. You know, I tried. No one's heard that, but like, it's just not me. You know, so I got to figure out, and through this process, like what can I do vocally that is me?
Mm.
Because again, like I can write an instrumental. I I know that guy,
Yeah,
but who am
yeah,
I as like the vocalist?
yeah,
That's been more or less what I've been kind of working on, and I think I'm getting closer
yeah.
to that.
But that, yeah, I don't know. That must be just a great journey to be on. Like just trying to discover. It kind of sounds similar to when you were talking about being a YouTuber and like finding
Mm.
your own voice and not being the guy that says hey 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 like subscribe like and stuff like you're not
Yeah.
that person. You're very
No,
like
no.
laid back and mellow, and
Yeah.
it's about just like finding, like I don't have a super, when I listen back to my intros, like I don't have a super like energetic style or anything,
Yeah.
and that's just like the way I am, very like chill.
Mm.
So I guess it's similar with singing. Like it's just like, as you said, you're probably not going to be singing these huge anthems
Yeah.
that the whole festival
Yeah.
is singing back, but that's fine. It's like finding you, yeah, what do you want to represent? What do you want to bring to your
Mhm.
songs? And that, yeah, I don't know. That must be a great feeling, like to be on that path.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like any. It's kind of like producing, I guess. Like in the beginning, it's all new and fresh, and you're just kind of figuring everything out, and like everything's new. Everything's just like, I want to do it again. All right, I did it. Let's do it again and try to do it better.
Yeah,
So it's kind of that constantly chasing the progression of things. Like I don't know where it's going to end up, but I know like right now I feel like I'm in a more confident like space. Like if someone was just like, "Hey, can you put a vocal on this track?" I wouldn't sit there and be like, "I don't know." Are you sure? But I'd be like, "Okay, just give me like a few days and I'll figure it out." And then we'll just kind of go back and forth. Like you let me know. And
yeah.
yeah,
Would, would you
it's fun. Yeah, I think.
would you consider like doing vocals for other people down the line, or
Yeah.
yeah,
I
that's what
think,
you want to build towards?
I mean, just having the capability of doing it. Like I'm always just gonna be like the producer first, I think. But there's always just like, if you need a vocal, I can do it. Or it's just like, if I need a vocal, because I mean that's kind of how it came out of basically like, I don't want to like find a sample pack vocal because that takes forever, honestly. And then
Yeah.
a lot of times most people have used them,
Yeah,
and I'm too like, for a while, so long, I was just like, I don't know if I can just like reach out to a vocalist. Like, how does that work? Like, I can't pay them if they want anything. So there's like, well, I'll just buy myself a mic and I'll try and figure this out myself. And now
Yeah.
here I am, just like I've made my bed and now I'm in it.
yeah.
I'm the vocalist now.
Is there also a dimension of like, I'm probably like fetching a bit here, but like being able to like express other emotions also, like through lyrics? Because obviously you can express a lot of emotions through
Yeah.
piano and violin, but does it also bring you a new dimension of being able to express other things?
Oh, definitely. I mean, first off, it's just like the voice is just like a really expressive like instrument, not necessarily like my voice or anything, but just like voice in general. It's like you get so much more out of it, of just like every little nuance of just how like you might say things or say a word or a phrase or something. And then it's not like this abstract feeling of this piano, maybe he's feeling a bit happy, but oh, it went minor, so he had a bad day that day. It's like, no, I'm saying exactly more or less, I'm saying how I'm feeling or the
Yeah.
feeling I want you to feel. kind of thing. So it's a bit more direct and it's easily more relatable. And I think that's why like a lot of like they haven't all been like overwhelmingly positive to like me trying like doing vocals and stuff, but people gravitate to it or accept
Mm.
it because you can really like hear, I guess, what I've been trying to convey in other
Yeah.
tracks and things. And because I'm so vocal, I guess, around just the song, you get a better picture and you almost kind of like, maybe this isn't the most technically great thing, but I feel what he's saying
Yeah.
and I get what he's trying to say in his words and stuff. So I connect with it on a more of a human level instead of this is a really good song with a really good singer and I
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
it to, and I
Yeah.
think that that to me is more what I want is just like the you understanding more, I guess, directly whatever I'm thinking
Yeah.
of or going through or something like that. And I think that's like one good thing of just vocals or the voice in general. And like same reason for like the YouTube videos or podcasts, like I can write it down or something in like a quick paragraph, but if I'm just like sitting here explaining to you and then going through the thought process and then with
Mm.
me being me, just going all in circles and weird tangents, but then it eventually hits that point and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, okay, now I get it. And you heard me say it, and then there's like the video aspect of like he's really thinking about this. And you can see
Yeah.
like the wheel turning and it's like now I got to the end. Now you understand. And it's just like it's much more relatable, I think.
Yeah.
And it just adds the extra dimension to a song, I
Yeah.
guess, or anything.